Hello and welcome back to the Hofcast for the first time ever, the second time today. I appreciate everybody who listened earlier. We had Coach DJ O'Banion on from Loyola, and she was tremendous. I hope, if you didn't get a chance to listen to that live, I hope you guys go back and listen to that. There was a lot of good stuff talked about this morning. But now we're going to move on, and we have our second show of the day. We are now going to talk to a couple high school coaches. Then we're going to visit with Cheyenne Sellers, Northeast Ohio legend, later on in the show. But our first guest is the brand new Lake Blue Streets head coach, Ashley. Well, I'll call her Phipps because that's kind of what always comes out of my mouth since I've known you for so long. Coach, thanks for joining me. How you been?
I am great. How are you?
It's been a great day. It's starting to get chilly to the point where you feel the snow coming. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but
I work outside, so I get that.
Today was that day for me. Like, whoa, it's getting to the point where it's definitely brisk. But thank God basketball's inside.
That is true.
I first I want to ask you. You've been at Lake. This is your 9th year. You've worked under 3 different coaches now, and you finally got the opportunity to be the boss. Has that been a goal of yours? I mean, obviously you started with Cobb. Everybody knew Cobb wasn't going to be hanging around forever. And then you stayed under 2 other coaches after that. Like, is it something that may have been your goal? I'm going to stay in this program and I'm here for the long haul, or is it just kind of happen?
I mean, a little bit of both. I would say when I came to Lake, 9 years ago, I was 22 years old, 23 years old, and I just saw it as a cool opportunity to coach. But being under Cobb and my first year there, I was a freshman coach. That was Lake's year. I believe we finished the year varsity-wise 20-4 that year. And I think about halfway through the year, I realized, like, this is different. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of lit a fire under me. And I just continued to learn under Cobb. And I would say within a year, I was like, this is what I want to do. So I just kind of invested all my time, all of my effort into being the best assistant at whatever level I was. So I was Henry's or Coach Cobb's assistant for 2 years as a freshman coach, and then I was his JV coach. Then obviously I've just moved my way up and was varsity assistant the last 3 or 4 years. But I've had opportunities to go to other programs. But after talking with my husband and just really evaluating it, this is a community I grew up in. I went to the private school down the road, Lake Center. And I love this community. I love these kids. And I've invested so much time with our youth that it's actually it's just so awesome to see them come up. I've coached a lot of them in 3rd and 4th grade. And so It's just really exciting to be here and be, like you said, be the boss. It's just really cool.
So needless to say, it's probably been, for the most part, a smooth transition. I mean, you knew where your office was before you got the job. You know where they keep the basketballs. I mean, you knew most of the kids. In a lot of aspects, it probably has been pretty smooth. But in other aspects, it's never exactly easy. What are some of the biggest challenges for you so far since you took over?
It's funny. I was just thinking about this last night. I was reading an old article that I had saved about she's no longer the head coach, but Holly Warlick at Tennessee when she took over for Pat Summitt. Mm-hmm. And she struggled some, but I always kind of looked at that and I was like, she was such a long-standing assistant coach of Pat Summitt. And we all know that assistant coaches are more the buddies. They pick up when the coach, gets on someone, you go and be their friend. And I kind of feel like I'm in the same shoes as she was, is now those roles have changed and you're now the one that's getting on kids.
Yeah.
And sometimes the kids think, they're still your buddy, and they are. I love them all, but you have to kind of draw that line of now my role has changed and getting the kids to see that. It's been a little difficult, but nothing we can't work through.
So you can't get mad at the good cop because you spent 8 years being the good cop.
It's hard, but
I've been there too. I mean, I was assistant for the 5 years that I coached high school. I think we all get the good cop, bad cop thing. And if there isn't a good cop for the bad cop, sometimes it makes things a little harder. But, you know, what are some of the things that you want to, you know, again, you've had a big impact on the program so far, you know, being this is your 9th year, but what are some of the things that you really want to be a stickler on and plant the foundation of that are your aspects of the program?
Yeah, I mean, we have things we're going to focus on the court and off the court, but I'll start on the court stuff. Something we're really trying to instill right now is we're trying to run a little bit more transition offense and play a little bit quicker. That hasn't been the Lake style in a long time. So that's one we've been doing work on that every single day. And then just getting it after defensively. My gosh, if it was up to me, we would just practice defense all day, but kids don't like that too much. But just trying to – I'm a big fan of, you know, let your defense create your offense. So we're trying to ramp up that intensity and the aggressiveness on that side. That's the basketball part. And then the big one just on our values and our core values is just right now instilling a belief, first individually that, you know, I have kids that are extremely talented, but they just need to believe in themselves. Mm-hmm. So right now we're teaching believe in yourself, and then believe in each other. And, you know, we're the underdog right now, and that's fine. But our goal is to, you know, turn some heads this year and let people know that we're not out of the picture. We're going to build that back up. And that just starts with believing in each other, and eventually that leads to achievement. So.
And, I mean, you kind of started already talking about a question I had that I wanted to specifically ask. I mean, you guys, Lake, for the last several years have been at the bottom of the standings. You know, it obviously has to start with confidence, but how are you kind of trying to get these kids to play with more confidence, knowing that, you know, you have been at the bottom, but you don't have to stay there?
Yeah, for sure. A big one right now is it's actually really awesome is we don't have like a superstar kid that has to, you know, get our shots and get our points. And so we've kind of loosened the reins on shot selection and such, and letting each kid know, you know, shoot your shot when you're open, shoot your shot. And just taking more of a team mentality to it is a big thing that we're trying to do. You know, if we can believe in each other and play as a team, we're going to see a lot more success, I believe, in the long run.
Can you give us an idea? You know, I mean, I know a couple of the kids, but, you know, for our viewers that are going to be watching this over the next several weeks, you know, give us a couple of those kids that you think are going to make an impact for you this year. Yeah,
absolutely. I have 3 seniors that they're going to contribute on the court, but they're just great leaders too. Wendy Tobin, Julia Slate, and Marissa Riggs. They're all post players. They've really worked hard in the off season, and I've got a whole slew of juniors. The ones that have really been working right now, Abby Hance, Elena Horning, who's put up, I mean, I don't even know how many shots. She's always in the gym shooting. Liz Walker is a name that she's played some JV ball, but I'm looking forward to seeing her contribute to our success. Then we've got a little bit of sophomore group there with Paige Marshall, Serenity Johnson, and Emma Anderson, all chipping in too. Just you know, we have a big rotation, but all those kids are most likely going to see some minutes, and I'm sure I missed a couple that are in that mix as well.
Well, every coach does. It's no big deal. It's hard. And when I go on other people's podcasts or I go on the radio and talk, every time I get done, I'm like, wait, I should have said this. I should have done this. So it's perfectly normal. You know, I actually got a text on Saturday when you guys were scrimmaging out at West Branch. I got a text from somebody that said Abby Hance was killing it. So they said he had three or four threes in one game in one scrimmage. So if Jason Hance gives you any problems this year, you let me know. I can take care of that guy.
Jason won't give me problems. He's scared of me. No, she did. I mean, she really pulled out some defensive aggressiveness that I haven't seen from her. Like, kind of as a whole, the whole team did it. Just kind of blew me away. I wish they would do it in practice, but I know it's there, and so we're just going to work on getting that out more often. We played well, so.
Now, here's a question that you may not like to think about, but over the last 4 or 5 years, Lake, I mean, you guys continuously get kids that, you know, I'm just going to be blunt about it. You know, other schools steal your kids. There's a whole list of them. You know, what can you do, or, you know, what is the plan to kind of keep those kids in Uniontown and playing at Lake High School moving forward?
Yeah, it's definitely a problem. Everybody knows it, and it's fine. What we're working towards right now is building a culture, and obviously that starts with our high school. Trying to make it a positive experience that is fun, but also one where we go and compete. We're trying to do a lot of stuff where we're tying our youth together with our middle school and with our high school. That's a huge one, is sometimes I think there's a disconnect. And a big one is just, it's a process. So many people want that overnight success, and it's not real. Overnight success doesn't happen. A great example of it, and he's going to be mad at me because he's sitting over here, but my husband is Louisville's soccer coach. And I believe this was his 5th year as a head coach, 4th year. And they went through some awful times earlier this year. Just weren't playing to their capabilities, but his kids stuck to a process. They bought in, and they ended up going to a district championship, the first in Louisville soccer history. So it's pretty awesome. So we're taking the same approach. It's a process, and you know, we just got to work through it. And we've got kids that have bought in, and that's our plan. We're going to change a culture. And if you don't want to stay, that's fine. We'll work with the ones that do, and that's who we'll go to battle with.
Mm-hmm. Now I talked to Coach Mason last week here on the podcast, the new coach of Hoover, and I asked him, is he aware of all the, you know, the rivalries and how the Federal League is? And you know, he said, yeah, but you never really get it until you get into it. And that's not something I can ask you because you've been part of it for 8 years. You know, but the one thing I do want to ask is the Federal League is so tough and physical. And, you know, even teams that come from outside the league, they're like, wow, like, are we going to get any calls? You know, they fouled the crap out of us, you know, that kind of stuff. But how are you preparing your kids to play that tough Federal League schedule once more and you know, try to hopefully raise the bar a little bit?
Yeah, no doubt the Federal League, I've said it for years, I think it's the best league in the state of Ohio. But, you know, just in practice, when our JV goes against our varsity, or sometimes we just split our varsity and go against each other. But there's no such thing as a foul in practice. You play through it. You control what you can control. So it's a huge adjustment, you know, when people are hand checking you and hitting you hard, but it's just, you know, you can't control how the refs call the game. So we're going to fight that adversity, get through that. And yeah, I mean, I tell my kids all the time, you know, we're not a bad team outside of the Federal League, but we want to be a good team in the Federal League. And it just comes one step at a time, getting in the gym and just getting better every day. But yeah, I mean, we just try to emulate the physicality as much as we can in practice, so that's not a shock when we get into those game situations.
I don't know if this is something that you can answer or want to answer, but what is like the vision for this year for you in year one? Like what would you consider a successful season for you guys this year?
Yeah, I'm going to be cliche and use the right answer here, but it's not really. This is from my heart. Is yes, we're going to fight to win every single game. Like that's our ultimate goal. But realistically, my success of a season doesn't come in the win-loss column. It just comes from, we're going to learn a lot of life lessons, fighting through adversity. Our goal this year is to have fun. That's a huge deal, is not to come to practice. Right now we're learning that we get to go to practice. We don't have to go to practice. We get to go to practice. Mm-hmm. Learning how to go to battle and fight with your teammates. We've got a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to go into details. We've got a lot of things happening outside with families and things like that. So our goal this year is just to draw together as a family and just to play for the person that's sitting next to you on the bench. And if we can do that and draw together through our hard times, to me, we're going to have a successful season.
Absolutely. And keep that husband around. Soccer champion. He got the internet working. I mean, I don't know. He's got it all.
And he's babysitting the dog. So he's the award winner tonight.
Well, Coach, I really appreciate your time. I mean, I want to wish you best of luck this year. I will almost certainly see you at some point.
Absolutely.
So, I'll be checking in and again, Jason Hance, he gives you any problems, I'll take him down for you. So
he hasn't sent a text yet, so we're good so far.
he got his shout out twice in 15 minutes, so he should be happy with that.
You're living a good life.
Coach, I appreciate it. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye. Federal League, man, it is tough. Even people that from outside the area, Glen Oak's been to state 2 out of the last 3 years. Hoover's been the state championship within the last 10 years. McKinley's been there multiple times in the last 10 years. Jackson has a really solid team. They've been to regionals more than once in the last 5 years. I mean, it's a grinder of a league, and Lake's had trouble keeping coaches there. They've had good coaches there. That it's just tough being in the bottom of that league and working your way up. So I just want to wish Coach Phipps the best. I know she's gonna put a lot of time and effort into that. So best of luck to the Streaks this year. We are actually going to move west a little bit. We have the head coach of the Shelby Whippets, Natalie Lance, with us. You don't mind if I call you Nat, do you? Because all your kids that I'm around all the time call you Nat.
I'm Nat, so yep, that's good.
And for anybody who's listening, I didn't know this at first, but can you tell us what a whippet is, please?
A whippet is it's like a smaller version of a greyhound. They're really fast. They're like little race dogs. They're pretty sweet animals. I don't know that I knew what a whippet was really until my volleyball coach in high school used to raise and breed them. So she brought all her puppies to volleyball, so we got to be around a lot of little whippets.
I never knew what one was till I showed up in Shelby. There's a mural on the side of the wall in the gym, right?
Yes, yeah, we have a whippet on the wall or on the mats of the gym.
That's when I realized what a whippet was. Coach, I appreciate you joining me today. How's the season going so far for you guys? What, 10 days in?
Yeah. Today was our 9th practice. We had a scrimmage on Saturday. The girls have come in. We have great leadership this year in our seniors and experienced players. And they've been getting after it at practice. We had a little bit of a rough practice yesterday, but boy, did they bounce back today. Was really pleased with their effort. And that's one thing I know I can count on this year is they're all competitors. They're really close. They're a close-knit team. We have really great chemistry, and I'm really excited to see what we can do this year.
Now, you've had a lot of success in the last, I'll go say 5-6 years. I know when Emma Randall was there, you guys started really having some formidable teams. First of all, what did it take to get teams to that level? and now, to sustain that every single year, what is that? What's the secret to that?
Really the first year I took over, I had a really nice senior class. They were great leaders, great athletes. We did really, really good then. We were conference champs back then, and we graduated 5 seniors, 5 experienced players, and then really just started to kind of reload. The next year, we're playing 2-3 freshmen varsity level, and they were getting key minutes, and it's hard. I think the key was just putting a lot of time into the youth. We had great parent coaches that were working with some of our younger teams, really getting into, getting back and pushing hard in our summer camps. We were running youth fall leagues. We started winter clinics as well, just to get our younger kids back in the gym and in the gym with, the varsity, the high school players, varsity players. I think it's a really important part of your program. You want those younger kids to look up to the older kids and say, I want to be that, Emma Hostetler. I want to be that Sophie Neese, that Olivia Baker, Haley Baker, Emma Randall. And it kind of just continues down the road once you start developing that.
You mentioned your parents. I can attest you have some of the best parents there are. Troy, Monica, Heidi, Alan Booker. Let me tell you, if you've never been out on a night on the town with Alan Booker, you're missing out. That's dude right. Is a lot of fun.
We like you said, we're blessed. Those are great parents. Troy coached, both some boys teams, and obviously he coached the twins and Soph as they were younger, and did a nice job just really working the fundamentals and working to, help them play good defense and good team ball. And he still spends a lot of time in the gym with them. Every night after practice, I think they go to another gym and they shoot for, I don't know, half hour, 2 hours, as much as it takes. It's a tribute, to him spending that extra time. And it's a tribute to the kids wanting to get back in that gym and put in that extra work. And really, and this, to get to the next level, that's what it takes.
Yeah. You actually, honestly, just went into my next question. You guys have had a lot of success. You have a really good senior class this year. What is it going to take to get to the next level? Get out of districts, maybe get through regionals. There's plenty of talent, but what is it? What is that ingredient to get you, over that hump and have an even further extended postseason?
We've talked about really playing hard both ends of the court, wanting all the kids that are on the court at that time to be 90% to 100%, fresh. That way they're playing hard and we're not jogging back on defense and, not being a good team player defensively. Really just committing, to playing hard both ends of the court. You do that, you call for a sub, then, we take you out, you get your win back, and you're back in the ball game and relieving somebody else who's now winded. We want to stay strong. We want to play fast, but at the same time, we want to play under control. We'd love to get great shots within the first, 10 to 12 seconds. If that doesn't happen, I want to work the ball until we get a great shot. We have great shooters. So why force a shot when we can get somebody an open look and a higher percentage shot? I think that's important. We're not a big team, so being able to slow down teams, make sure that we're, committing, if I'm on ball, I'm going to play the best on ball defense. I'm not going to give up on a play. Even if they start to get to my hip, I'm going to fight for position, but also having trust in my teammates that, I'm going to do my job. They're going to do their job. So if I do get beat, there's that rotation, there's that second rotation. So I think, we're headed the right direction there. We saw a little glimpses of it on Saturday, just after a week of practice, which I was really excited about. But I think communication is key. And we're starting to see it with a certain group of players on the court that are communicating. Really good things are happening. I think we have a really good freshman class this year. And I think, being able to be back in the gym together last year, we had separate practices. So basically I had 10 kids in the main gym and 10 kids in the other gym. And we never saw each other. We never got to scrimmage against each other, which was really difficult. So I think, that's a key ingredient too, is everybody back in the gym that we can play and push each other on a daily basis. But really, we've just got to be tough. We've got to be smart. And we've just got to want it more. And part of wanting it more isn't just trying harder, but it's making the right decisions on both ends of the floor.
Now, I know that you spent some time with your kids down in Dayton last year at the state finals. Is that part of like the process to kind of see things where you want to be, and was that a conversation while you guys were down there, like, this is our shot, like you guys are all going to be graduated after next year, we got one more year with you guys to make this happen, this is how it's done? Was that talked about while you were down there, or was it just having fun?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of both. I think, the kids that were down there, I mean, they have a true passion for the game. They're all, they were kids that all wanted to play next level basketball. And it's really seeing that competitiveness, that just will to win, that drive to succeed. Those teams that get there, they get there for a reason. They're very disciplined, both ends of the floor. I mean, they're good at transition. They're good at defense. They're good at communicating. They're good at doing the little things, whether it's setting a screen, whether it's rubbing shoulders off a screen, whether it's a bounce out, and with different reads. They're good. They're there for a reason. And I've always been an optimistic person. I'm real at the same time, but I'm an optimistic person. But, I believe in these kids, and I believe in what their potential is. And we had that talk today at practice. As a matter of fact, just after a rough day practice, I'm going to push you. If I'm not pushing you, I'm not doing my job. This is where I believe you can be. This is where I know you want to be. So what do we have to do to get there? And, what I love about this group is, they buy in, they want it. And like I said, they're working hard. They're pushing each other at practice, and I want to see them get frustrated. I want to see them make mistakes, because they are pushing, they are pushing to get better and better. And I think as long as we don't get complacent, I think we need to play, at our level and push to get better each game, no matter what the competition brings, no matter what type of offense, no matter what type of defense. We have to be able to adjust no matter what officials call. Some games are called really tight, and some games are extremely physical, and we have to be able to adjust on the fly and just play through no matter what. Like I said, don't give up on a play ever, whether it's offensively or defensively. And I see that potential in this group. I think they're beyond a district team. I really believe they have potential to go on. It's just making sure that we do all those little things right and really well consistently, and just keep building and improving throughout the season.
I know coaches don't like to answer these type of questions. So for a second, put yourself in the shoes of one of your competitor coaches. Willard had a great class the last couple of years. They graduated some really impactful kids. Bellevue has seen their day, and they've kind of moved on from some big time players. Would people say that Shelby is the team to beat, at least in the district this year? Or
I mean, I would think we're one of the teams that are certainly up there for discussion, to beat in the district. I think there's good teams out there though that are improving year by year. They've got good, they've got great coaches, and some just are great programs year after year. They just lock in and reload. It's not rebuilding; they're just reloading and pushing them. And sometimes, I know there's been some teams that have had some like stellar players, but there's also something to be said about a team that just plays well together. Not a bunch of big stars, but just kids that work hard and play well together. I think those teams are very dangerous. And those are the teams that our team certainly doesn't want to overlook. I would say, I would say we'd have to be up at one of the top in our district.
How do you change the philosophy or maybe the approach when you guys have kind of had the target out on the Bellevues and the Willards the last couple of years, knowing that that's who you had to beat to get through there, but now the target is on your back? How do you what kind of changes need to make in the philosophies or just the approach on how you and your kids approach every day?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was talking to a coach the other day, and they were talking about, we lost a lot last year. We're really young this year, and their group was that we scrimmaged them. Their group is athletic and I see huge potential there. They're one of those teams that will grow, throughout the season, that you might see more growth than maybe a team like ours with a little bit more veteran, just because they're so young, and as they get confidence, they'll get better and better and better. I like being the underdog. I've been the underdog for a while, but I've got a group, and I think part of that in us being successful and flipping that mindset is, we have experience, and it's kind of neat to see, especially if you look at end game situations or, if we need a certain stop or we need a certain score, just making sure that we execute properly. And I think that's huge, and it shows by experience. One year we didn't execute it quite right, but we got a shot off, wasn't a great shot. The next year, we're getting the shot off, and it's a great shot. And, we came down, we won a couple games, kind of last second like that. And it was just that experience. We had a great pass, we executed, played perfect, and we got the shot off and scored. So I think as the girls have gotten older and played more, I don't think people realize too sometimes like how important it is to have court time, not just, to practice every day, but to actually have court time and get that experience. So I think part of that's that. And then part of it is wanting it bad enough to pass up that good shot for a great shot, and to make sure that, well, if I got beat on defense, I'm going to sprint back. I mean, perfect example of that is Sophie Neese. She's had turnovers before, but she's also been the first one back on defense and making plays at the other end.
Yeah.
And that's that type of relentless play and that tough mentality that I think takes you to that next level.
Last question, Coach. You guys have something at Shelby that it's kind of unique, the community support. And I know I've been to games out there. You guys generally have a full house for the most part. And I know it's not just girls basketball. What's it like to be part of a community like that and represent a community that's just so outstanding?
I think it's so special. And it's been that way. Like you said, it's been that way for years. Back when I played, it was great. I mean, we packed the house, and it was for our games. It was for boys games. It was for volleyball games. It didn't matter. Cross country. My brother ran cross country, track meets. We always had people there supporting, whether it's parents, friends, community members, just people, that love and enjoy the sports and kind of that camaraderie. In a small town, it's pretty awesome. And I think the girls, that was something we really missed out on last year. We love having a crowd there, and we love making our community proud, representing our school, representing, our community, and doing a good job. And that doesn't just come down to wins and losses. It's awesome to win, but it's more important to me, all said and done, that they're good kids and they're doing the right things on and off the court. They're working hard in the classroom, but you put all that together and you go out and show and play some good ball games. You draw that crowd back and back again, just saying, what, those kids are fun to watch. I want to go to another game, and Shelby has that. And it's pretty darn cool and very fortunate to be a part of.
Well, I appreciate your time. I know you said your son's playing tonight, and I see you wearing the Rio sweater. So
yep.
If I interrupted the game, I appreciate your time.
It ended right before I got on. So it was his first game, his freshman year. They ended up losing, but it was a good game. It was a really good game. He got to play. He rebounded well. He had he had a couple buckets, couple assists. So I'm proud of him.
So now you're going to be excited to get on the phone with him as soon as you get off here. But
I may give him a call.
I will definitely be seeing you soon. Obviously, there's several kids and parents in your program that I'm very close to and I love dearly. So you will definitely be seeing me multiple times this year. Hopefully, you don't get too tired of that.
Oh, not at all. You're always welcome. And they're great kids, great families, and very thankful for what you've done for the kids and their families over the years as well.
Well, thank you. Well, I really look forward to seeing them end it on a high note. So
me too.
I'll be there and I'll definitely be supporting, Coach.
Sounds good.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. That was Coach Lance from Shelby, and I mean those kids, the three seniors that we were referring to. Sophie Neese is her point guard, is definitely going to be playing college somewhere. She hasn't decided yet. Haley Baker is going to Baldwin Wallace, and Olivia Baker is going to West Liberty. Those kids have been playing at a high level since they were freshmen. I remember seeing them before they even stepped foot in high school, and it's exciting to see them grow and end their high school career and go to college. So good luck to the Whippets out there this year, and I'll certainly be there. And we are going to we're going out of state now. We don't often go out of state, but we're gonna get ourselves Cheyenne Sellers on here, and it's College Park, right?
It is indeed.
I sometimes I mix them up because I think Texas A&M is College Station.
Yeah,
it's similar, so sometimes I mix them up. Cheyenne, how you doing? How was practice today?
I'm good, Rich. It was good. We had a little bit of cool experience today. We had the Washington Mystics at our practice today, so that was pretty cool, and get a good vibe out. So
that is nice. Pretty awesome. I've been down there. I've been down to Maryland. I've been in the arena. I met Brenda Freeze. That place is awesome. Like, what did it feel like to walk in there? I mean, they got if my memory serves me right, they got the Final Four court on the side of the wall when they won their national championship, right out in the lobby. The arena is just special. What does it feel like to be able to walk in there every day? And I'm sure you go in there on your own sometimes. It's your court. What does that feel like for a freshman?
Yeah, Xfinity Center is the place to be. It's very exciting. A lot of energy. When you walk into the gym, you can feel the fans right away. We come out of a tunnel. They throw some smoke. First exhibition game was last week, so that was pretty cool to get that under my belt, get my feet wet. Mm-hmm. It was I mean, my first week here, I was in the gym by myself at 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, just getting shots up. So I had nowhere else to be. I didn't know anywhere to go. So, the gym always felt like home.
That is a great place to have at your disposal when you just want to get some shots up. I actually listened to your dad last night on the radio. I anytime he does Cavs post game, obviously I'm a big time Cavs fan. So, and a lot of times I'm delivering food, so I listen to the game on the radio. I get to hear him. What was it like? I'm guessing my math is right. You weren't alive when he was playing in the NBA, but what was it like growing up having an NBA father? Because I know it had to come with meeting other Cavs players that he played with, probably meeting LeBron if I had to guess, and just getting to meet other people that other people just don't get to do. Like what having an NBA father, how was that?
It's cool growing up. It's you get a lot of knowledge, you get experience, and a lot of people get. It's just a really cool vibe. I did meet a few people. I've met LeBron. You're correct. I've met a few other Cavs people. But I don't think that was the most special part. I got to sit down and talk basketball with my dad, but he wasn't going to too in on me. He was just letting me grow, letting me know that it's okay to have a bad game. You got to pick your head up and keep going. I mean, seeing different options. I mean, we play a very similar game. We're built very similar. So it's nice having someone under your wing and knowing what they're talking about, because some people don't really know what they're talking about. But
like me
it's
sometimes.
a cool. But I mean, we never lost that father-daughter relationship, which I thought was the best part. I think some people lose that father-daughter relationship, and it's still there. I can still count on him when I need to. So I mean, it was awesome. I loved it.
Another burning question I have to: how what was it like having to put up with Carlos every summer since you were probably 6?
Carlos, that man is crazy. Let me tell you, that man is crazy. No, but in all seriousness, he's a good coach. He's down to earth. He knows exactly what he's talking about. I mean, he knows how to pull the best version of yourself out of you.
Mm-hmm.
That is something I'll never regret and never forget. That man has made an impact on my life. I talk to that man at least once a week, just talking about basketball, catching up, what can I do better, and that man really is a father figure to me, and I just really appreciate that man.
He is a good guy. I had to mess with him, so I'm sure he saw on Twitter that you were going to be on here. So he says he's not on Twitter, but we all know they all use the Smack account to see what's going on. But he is a good dude. He's a good friend of mine, and I appreciate him as well. I remember, I mean, you're clearly a Northeast Ohio legend already. And I mean, you haven't even started your college career. But I remember one of the first times that we talked, you were probably a freshman, and I told you that I expect a dunk at some point. How much closer are you to throwing one down? Is that ever going to happen?
I know. I wish I could say it's going to happen. I don't think so. I mean, I'm close to rim, but my bounce ain't quite
there's
crazy.
not a couple more inches there somewhere that you're going to hit your growth spurt in college?
Maybe after lifting more weights, our strength guy's really good, but I don't know. That one is to be announced. We'll see.
One of the reasons I wanted to get you on here is obviously, like I said, you're a Northeast Ohio icon in girls basketball, have been for the last several years. I mean, I don't know you personally, but we've talked, in person, and anytime I saw you, you were very kind, and anybody who knows you knows that you kind of got a very outgoing personality. You like to laugh and have fun. I think I even seen a video that Maryland did last week or something where you interviewing people. I mean, that's kind of, how do you turn the switch, like where you are the goofy Cheyenne all the time off the court, but then when it's game time, I mean, you get after it. Like, is that an easy thing for you to do, or does it take some focusing before games?
I wouldn't say it takes some focusing. It's kind of easy for me, I guess. Something about being in those lines, man. It gets you focused and gets you ready. I mean, I'm at a top school where every day you get everyone's best, so you got to be ready for. But it also comes with being around great people and just being yourself. I mean, in AAU, college, high school, I was always able to be myself. I was able to express myself the way I wanted to. So, I mean, just making sure everyone around me is having fun. I mean, that's the best thing you can do for yourself, is make sure you're having fun, because once you lose fun, there's not much left. So I just try to always see the brighter side of things and keep my head up.
Now, in this day and age of girls basketball, any high school basketball, transferring is such a common thing. I have to know because I know everybody and their mother was trying to get you to come play for them in high school. How in the world did you stay at Aurora with all that? I know it was happening. You can't tell me it wasn't happening. What was it about Aurora that definitely you were going to play your 4 years, you're going to stick it out, and regardless of who wanted to recruit you, you're going to stay there?
I guess my biggest thing is I'm big on loyalty. So, I played with Carlos for 10 years. I've been at Aurora my whole life. I plan on staying in Maryland for all 4. I'm really big on loyalty, so I don't really want to cross those lines. And a big thing is my family, my friends were all at Aurora. They kept me there. There was talk about me going. I just couldn't do it. I just felt like I would let a lot of kids down that looked up to me. So I just never got the courage to do it. And it ended up working out in the end. I had fun. I had my 4 runs. Um, I mean, no one ever thought Aurora would make it to the regional semifinals, but we did it. So I mean, those are memories that I'll never forget. It was cool. I don't know. I just felt like me leaving would have been me giving up on my city and just showing to take the easy way out when, I mean, we didn't have the strongest pieces, but we worked with what we had. So, I just felt like I had to stay.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's impressive. I didn't ever really hear a whole lot of, talk about you even, there's certain players, and I'm not going to bring any names up, but there's players that every single year the rumor mill is they're transferring. And I can honestly say I don't ever remember that being a real serious conversation, even in the rumor mill. So, I mean, you definitely showed a lot of loyalty and just kept getting it done for 4 years. Obviously, again, everybody in Northeast Ohio knows who you are and loves watching you play. But who were some of those kids that you grew up watching on the girls' side that you looked up to and wanted to be like?
I couldn't say there's many. I always aspired to my sisters. My sisters were my rock. One person I did look up to, and she happened to play for Smack and Carlos. Diva Kelja. Diva Kelja was a dog when I was watching her growing up.
Yeah.
That girl could hoop, and I mean, that was a big time player for someone. And seeing her go to DePaul, doing her thing. Dee always took me under her wing, so I mean, I always looked up to Dee, and so Fortner too, out of Wadsworth. Me and Soph played a little bit AU ball together just because I got pulled up in the strings.
Mm-hmm.
But those two really, really looked after me and really gave me their wise words. So I always have love for them and appreciate them.
Definitely two great kids to look up to, and I'm not going to throw out any spoilers, but Diva Kelj is going to be on this podcast at some point this season. She is another in Northeast Ohio legend. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, are there any kids that you've kind of taken under your wing, and are you expecting to be, the next big thing? Or I know that SMAC program is very tight and close knit. So, I mean, are there any kids that kind of took up, you took under your wing, you're looking forward to make a big impact?
Yeah. I think the one person that always comes to mind that I took under my wing since she was, I don't know, so young, Paige Kohler out of Olmsted Falls. That girl can hoop, and I think she's really flying under the radar. She's picked up a couple offers here and there, but I mean, that girl has basketball IQ. She can hoop. She's pretty skinny. I tell her she needs to hit the weight room all the time, but that girl has IQ. She can shoot the three. We played Smack together, so she always came up watching our games. She played a couple games with us. I just told her to have fun. Always been on the lookout, be looking to, learn. People are always going to come for your head. People are always going to have something negative to say about you, so you just got to keep your head down and keep it walking.
She's definitely, and I'm going to get back to that last comment, but Paige is definitely, you say she's skinny, but I can remember when she was a freshman, she's definitely, I can tell she's been in the weight room for sure. So we'll give her some credit on that aspect. She's definitely growing and getting bigger. But as far as you say, everybody's going to have, there's always going to be people that are naysayers and I've heard some things about you. Maybe you don't play hard all the time, or it's easy to get in your head, or, a little bit of a showboat. We've all heard it. I mean, I don't know how much you spend listening to people's comments or anything, but how does that type of stuff, how do you take that? Like, is it all motivation? Does it, when you hear stuff like that, what does it do for you internally?
I don't really take it personal. I know I have a big head when I play basketball, but that's one thing I can say. I'm confident. One thing I'm going in the game, I know I'm confident, especially in high school. People don't like me. I was not a liked player in basketball. After off the court, I was liked. On the court, not so much. I was never a dirty player, though. I can say that with my heart. But if I get a good block, I'm gonna talk my stuff. There's no shame in that, though. I mean, I think people take it the wrong way. When you have something to say after a block or you get a good steal or something, that's just passion.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when people talk back to me, especially if you're doing your thing, you're doing work. Like, talk to me. Like, let me know. Like, let me feel you.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff doesn't bother me. And I mean, the big thing I can say was against Stowe. That was the district finals. That game sold out. That was the craziest game I think ever. I mean, that was good. Both teams were doing amazing. People said I flopped. But you got to sell it if you want it. That's all I got to say. But I take it to the chin.
If I remember correctly, you got to the foul line like 25 times that game or something. So, I mean, trust me, I know the Stowe coaches very well. I've heard it. I wasn't at that game, but I do remember the game you're talking about, and you definitely pulled the upset that night. Was that one of your, if not the best memory? Was it one of them in your high school career?
That was probably my favorite memory of all time. I mean, you talk about a small town like Aurora and not have many pieces. We didn't play that well that game. We came down to the wire. We were losing going in the fourth. I mean, I don't know how much you can dog on a kid for having 40 points and 20 boards. And I don't know how much you can blame on the ref for that one, but it was a good experience. I mean, the crowd came storming the floor. We won. It was a cool experience. That's all I got to say.
Moving on to college, what are some of the experiences that you're looking forward to? Is there any particular player that you're like, man, I can't wait to guard this kid or go up against somebody that maybe you've watched on TV the last couple of years?
I think all of my Ohio blood. So, Haley Weaver at Northwestern, Layla Philly at Michigan, Zaya Cook at South Carolina, Bree Hall at South Carolina, J.C. Sheldon, Ohio State, like all my people from Ohio. That's probably my most excited. I mean, it's the battle of Ohio.
When
so those are
State, you're not going to be able to get away from them. I think they're all from Ohio now. Mike Sell, Sheldon, Madison Green. There's a whole lot of them now on that team.
There's a handful.
I'm hearing there might be a new one too that's a freshman in college that may be finding herself at Ohio State here soon. But
oh boy. Oh boy.
Now, what is it like playing for Brenda Freeze? We all know that. I mean, she's been a very successful coach. Everybody knows who she is, and she goes back a long way there in Maryland. What's that been like for you so far, playing for, somebody that's so highly regarded?
I love Coach B. We always joke around with her. We always call her B Freezy. So I love her. I mean, one thing about that woman is that she's going to coach you hard. She wants the best out of you every day. There's no time to have a lull. There's no time for you to waste a day. She's always talking about moving the needle forward every day, pushing it forward, and she understands that there's going to be bad days, but you have to make up for those bad mistakes and those bad days. I mean, I had a meeting with her today, and she was just saying, I love your energy. I can coach you hard, and you never take it personal, and you'll come in here the same day and have so much energy knowing that nothing will change. So I think that's a good thing about that woman is that whatever happens within those lines, those stay within those lines. You never got to carry it out and have a grudge towards you off the court. And I don't know how many people can say that. So I'm really thankful for that.
Well, before you go, one of the things that I've been focused on recently is kind of growing the women's game. Whatever, it means different things for different people. But as a kid that went through high school, now you're playing college at a high level. Like, what are some things that you think that can be done to help advance the women's game?
I think support. I mean, I was going to a school that, you know, our boys team wasn't the greatest, but somehow their games are always packed.
Yeah.
No one wanted to show love to the girls team, especially the girls team that were, you know, doing good until the state championship. Like, come on now. I mean, that's all I can say is really watch. Like, the girls' game is very, very detailed. Now the boys can dunk, but I mean, there's girls that are throwing behind the back passes, you know, no look passes that are doing some sweet stuff that you can't just discredit. You know, I think you got to give credit when credit is due, and I don't think girls are getting that. I mean, finally the WNBA percentage of watchers is going up, but I mean, it starts with the youth. I mean, you got to be able to engage with the youth and bring them up. I mean, a lot of people play high school basketball, you know, for fun. But I think we can take it a step further and actually make it fun and enjoyable and get the crowd engaged and, you know, make it a scene. I think that would be incredible. And I think also to the youth is like, even if people aren't watching, you got to go and give it your all. I mean, that's what makes people talk is when no one's looking, what are you doing? Are you half doing it or are you going your best? So I think that's something to always keep in mind too. People are always watching. Someone is always watching, even when you don't think they are. They're watching.
Mm-hmm. Well, if there's anybody who can provide a personality and a fun type of basketball, we all know it's you. You've had a lot of fun so far, and that's never going to end. Hopefully one day we're looking at you in the WNBA. That'd be great to have another kid from Northeast Ohio make it to the league, and you know, it is nice that the Mystics come by, and that's got to give you some serious motivation right there. But obviously you got things to take care of in the short term, and I definitely want to wish you nothing but the best this year. I'll definitely, if I don't see you in a game, I might have to look at the schedule and circle the date at Ohio State now. But, you know, I'll certainly be watching you on TV, and I definitely just want to wish you the best. And thanks for coming on today. I know you're probably tired or busy. You probably got up early and had some homework. You probably still have some homework you could do, but thanks for making time for us, Cheyenne. It's always great. Like I said, every time I see you, man, you're just so kind and always say hi. So that means a lot to me. So just keep being a great kid and have some fun this year.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right. I'll see y'all.
What a wonderful kid. She's very, very talented, long. She's going to do a great job at Maryland. She definitely left her mark in Ohio basketball. So best of luck to Cheyenne and Maryland this year. And we'll have several opportunities to see them on TV, I'm sure. You know, thanks for everybody tuning in tonight. We had a great show with some wonderful ladies. I can tell you next week's show, there's already a legend committed to be on the show next Tuesday. So I'm going to throw that cliffhanger out there, and I'll announce who that might be in the full show probably this weekend. So again, thanks for everybody for listening. We kept it under an hour again. That's good. Last year we were up in the hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes. So we're keeping it moving. And thanks to everybody for coming out and listening. Just be a good person, do something good for somebody else. And please don't be fake.